Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today we're diving deep into the mysterious and fascinating story of the 1966 Washington quarter dollar. What makes this coin so special? How did it reach a staggering value of $88,888? You're about to find out. Let's roll back the clock to 1966. America was in the midst of the space race. The Vietnam War was raging. Cultural change was sweeping the nation. And in the world of coins, a subtle but powerful shift was taking place. The United States Mint was in crisis. Due to a nationwide coin shortage, Congress had temporarily removed the mint marks from coins starting in 1965. That included the Washington quarter. So the 1966 quarter has no visible mint mark. But the story doesn't stop there. Even though there's no mint mark, we know these coins were produced in Philadelphia and Denver. But here's the kicker: because no mint marks appeared on the coins, collectors couldn't easily distinguish between mints. This move was intended to stop hoarding. Ironically, it made some 1966 quarters even more mysterious and collectible over time. Now let's talk composition. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But the Coinage Act of 1965 changed that forever. The 1966 Washington quarter was one of the first full production years where quarters were minted using a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means no silver. But despite that, certain 1966 quarters still command incredible prices today. Why? Condition, rarity and errors. Point one: of the most famous 1966 Washington quarters ever sold fetched an unbelievable $88,888. Yes, you heard that right. Almost 90 grand for a modern-era coin with no silver content. So how is that possible? First, let's talk condition. The coin in question was graded at an extremely high level. In the world of coin collecting, grading makes all the difference. A coin graded MS67 or MS68 by a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC can be worth hundreds or thousands of times more than the same coin in average circulated condition. Next factor: striking quality and eye appeal. Some 1966 quarters show full strike details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. These are called full strike or well-struck coins. Combine that with a pristine surface and no scratches and now you're in elite territory. And then we have errors and varieties. One type of error seen on 1966 quarters is the double die obverse, where the lettering or the date appears slightly doubled. Another is the off-center strike or coin struck on the wrong planchet. These are rare, but when they surface they bring serious attention from collectors and investors alike. But the real magic happened when one 1966 Washington quarter crossed the auction block in nearly perfect condition. It had flawless luster, incredible sharpness, and a near-perfect surface. It was what collectors dream of. And that's how it reached that jaw-dropping price of $88,888. So what's the current market doing? Prices for high-grade 1966 quarters remain strong. Most uncirculated examples in MS60 to MS65 range fetch between $20 and $50. But coins in MS67 or higher with exceptional eye appeal can bring thousands. And if you have a unique error or a coin with full strike features, you might be sitting on a goldmine even though there's no actual gold or silver in the coin itself. Want to know if your 1966 quarter could be worth big money? Here's what to check. Number 1, look at the overall condition. The less were the better. Number 2, examine the coin under magnification for doubling on the date or lettering. Number 3, look for full details in the hair and eagle's feathers. And number 4, consider getting the coin professionally graded if you think you have a standout piece. To wrap things up, the 1966 Washington quarter is a coin with a fascinating place in U.S. numismatic history. Born out of a time of change, minted without a mark and made from base metals, this coin proves that value isn't always about content. Sometimes it's about condition, rarity, history, and a little bit of luck. Yes, that's right. A Washington quarter with AP mint mark from 1985 has shocked collectors and investors alike by hitting a jaw-dropping market value of $80,888. What makes this ordinary-looking coin so incredibly valuable? And could you possibly have one sitting in your own collection without even knowing it? Stay with me as we dive deep into the history, design, errors, rarity, and market value of the 1985 P Mint Mark Washington Quarter Dollar. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington Quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a left-facing portrait of George Washington on the obverse and, on most versions, a heraldic eagle on the reverse. In 1985, the United States Mint struck quarters at two locations for circulation. These were Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint placed a small P Mint mark on the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. And while millions of these coins were struck for general use, not all 1985 P quarters were created equal. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 775 million Washington quarters. That's 750 million coins, making the 1985 P quarter one of the more common dates in the series. But here's the twist. Out of those 775 million, only a tiny fraction have ever been discovered with the characteristics that would make them extremely valuable. We're talking about extremely high-grade examples, rare mint errors, and flawless coins that have survived decades without a single scratch or mark. That's what sets the ultra-rare 1985 P quarter apart from the rest. First, it's all about condition. The coin that fetched over $80,000 was graded MS-68 by a top-tier grading company. MS stands for mint state, and 68 is an almost perfect score on the Sheldon scale, which maxes out at 70. Most circulated coins are nowhere near that level. Even uncirculated coins might score MS-63 or MS-64 if they're lucky. But MS-68? That's an elite club. The second factor is rarity in high grade. Out of those 775 million coins, only a handful have ever been certified at this level. That means collectors are willing to pay a massive premium to secure such a rare example. Over the past 2 decades, the coin collecting world has seen major growth, especially when it comes to modern coins in pristine condition. Just 10 years ago, a high-grade 1985 P quarter might have been worth a few $100s. But as the demand for registry-quality coins grew, so did the prices. Auction houses began listing top-graded 1985 P quarters, and bids started climbing. Then, in a historic moment, one of these coins sold for a shocking $80,888. That sale turned heads, shook the coin community, and forever changed how people viewed this otherwise common date. Now let's talk about something that excites every collector: errors. While not every 1985 P quarter is valuable, some become incredibly desirable because of dramatic mint errors. These can include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or even missing clad layers. Coins with these kinds of flaws are often one of a kind and can command thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and eye appeal. If you ever find a 1985 P quarter with strange markings or an unusual appearance, it might just be worth getting it professionally appraised. So how do you know if your 1985 P quarter is worth big money? Start by checking the coin's overall condition. If it looks brand new, with no wear, sharp details, and shiny luster, it could be uncirculated. Next, grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the surfaces. Any signs of doubling, odd colors, or strange metal defects could indicate a valuable error. Finally, consider submitting your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. If your coin scores high, especially MS-67 or above, you could be sitting on a fortune. Here's a quick breakdown of values in today's coin market. A typical 1985 P quarter in circulated condition is still worth face value, 25 cents. In uncirculated but common condition, it might sell for $1 to $5. A high-grade MS-65 example might bring $20 to $50. MS-66 can fetch around $100 to $200. MS-67. Now we're talking $500 or more. But MS-68? That's where we hit the top tier, $80,888. And remember, there are only a handful of these coins ever found, making them ultra-rare and highly sought after by serious collectors. The 1985 P Washington Quarter Dollar is a perfect example of why modern coins should never be overlooked. While billions were minted, only a microscopic number remain in pristine condition today. One of them has reached a record-breaking value of nearly $90,000, all because it was perfectly preserved. So the next time you check your change or go through an old coin jar, keep an eye out for this legendary coin. You never know what hidden treasure you might uncover. If one of those ordinary-looking coins could actually be worth a fortune. What if I told you that one humble quarter minted in 1988 could be worth as much as $72,888? That is right. The 1988 D Washington quarter is not just spare change. It is a hidden gem in the world of coin collecting. In this video we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1988 D Mint Mark Washington quarter-dollar coin. From its origins and design to the incredible prices it has fetched in auctions and the reasons behind its shocking value today. Whether you are a collector, a history buff, or just someone hoping to find treasure in your pocket, this story is going to keep you hooked. Let us begin with a little bit of history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a profile of Washington based on a bust by the neoclassical sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon. The reverse of the coin at the time displayed an eagle with wings spread perched on a bundle of arrows surrounded by olive branches. This design remained largely unchanged for decades. Now fast forward to 1988. By this time the quarter had become one of the most used and recognized coins in daily American life. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year. But not all quarters are created equal. Most 1988 D quarters are only worth their face value 25 cents. But some rare examples are worth much more. So what makes one of these coins skyrocket in value? It comes down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, mint errors, and collector demand. Let us break it down. First, rarity. Although over 500 million 1988 D quarters were struck, only a tiny number have survived in perfect condition. And even fewer have specific minting errors or anomalies that drive collectors wild. Second is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect mint state coin. Coins graded as MS-67 or higher are extremely scarce. An MS-68 example of the 1988 D quarter is what recently shook the numismatic world when it sold for an astonishing $72,888. Now you might be wondering how a 25-cent coin could sell for that much. That brings us to mint errors and exceptional eye appeal. Some 1988 D quarters may have striking errors like off-center strikes, double dies, missing elements, or clipped planchets. These errors, especially when found on high-grade coins, can send value soaring. Combine an error with a near-flawless mint state and you are looking at a coin worth serious money. Collectors and investors are always hunting for coins with top grades certified by respected grading companies like PCGS and NGC. If a coin gets a rare high grade, it becomes instantly desirable, especially if there are only a few known examples in that condition. Point: one of the highest auction records for this coin was achieved at a major auction house. The coin was graded MS-68 by PCGS, which means it is nearly perfect with superb luster, sharp details, and no visible marks under magnification. It stood out as one of the finest known examples of its kind. The bidding was fierce and the final hammer price reached that eye-watering $72,888. So what does this mean for you? Should you start checking your change every day? Absolutely. Because even though rare finds like this are uncommon, they are out there. Collectors have found valuable coins in rolls from the bank, in old coffee cans, and even in everyday pocket change. That if you have a 1988 D quarter, the first thing to do is check its condition. Is it clean, bright, and uncirculated? Does it have any odd marks or striking errors? If it looks exceptional, it may be worth having it graded. Who knows, you could be holding on to a mini jackpot. Now let us talk about the current market. While most 1988 D quarters are still only worth face value, high-grade examples and error coins can range in value from a few dollars to thousands. Prices change depending on market trends and collector interest, but a certified MS-67 or MS-68 can consistently attract big money. To sum it all up, the 1988 D Washington quarter dollar may seem ordinary at first glance, but in the right condition it can be worth an incredible amount of money. It is a perfect reminder that hidden treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. So the next time you get a quarter and change, flip it over and take a closer look. You just might be holding a piece of history worth thousands. We are talking about a quarter that might just be hiding in your change jar, the 1989 D Washington quarter. You heard that right, a coin that originally cost just 25 cents could be worth thousands of dollars today. That's not an exaggeration. This humble little coin, minted in Denver, is shocking collectors and casual hobbyists alike with some eye-popping market values. So buckle up and stick with me through this video, because you might just discover a small fortune in your pocket. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It quickly became a permanent fixture of American coinage. Fast forward to 1989, the United States Mint was producing billions of coins each year, and the Washington quarter remained one of the most circulated coins in the country. In that year alone, the Denver Mint struck well over 800 million Washington quarters. That's a staggering number. So why, you might ask, is the 1989 D quarter so valuable today? Well, here's where it gets interesting. While most of those 1989 D quarters are only worth face value, there are a few rare and special examples that can command huge sums. One such coin, in pristine condition and with exceptional qualities, recently sold for an astonishing $66,888. Yes, you heard that right, over 66 grand for a 25-cent coin. And here's why. First and foremost, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. The coin that fetched that incredible price was graded at the very top of the scale, likely a mint state 68 or higher. That level of quality is extremely rare for a coin that was mass-produced for everyday use. Finding one without scratches, without wear, with perfect luster and sharp details, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Next, let's talk about errors and varieties. Some of the most valuable coins are not just pristine, they also feature unique minting errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks can all increase a coin's value dramatically. While the $66,000 sale was likely a flawless example with no major error, other 1989 D quarters with unusual minting characteristics have also sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So it pays to look closely. How can you tell if your 1989 D quarter is worth anything? Start by checking the mint mark. The D, for Denver, should be clearly visible on the right side of George Washington's ponytail, just above the date. Then, look at the overall condition. Is the coin shiny and uncirculated? Does it have full detail in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers? If so, it might be worth having professionally graded. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can give your coin an official score, which can dramatically affect its market value. Let's take a look at the current market. As of today, a high-grade 1989 D Washington quarter can fetch several $100s even without an error, depending on its condition. Coins graded mint state 65 or 66 are highly sought after by collectors trying to complete registry sets. But if you are lucky enough to have one in near-perfect condition, a top-popped coin with full luster and no visible flaws, you could be looking at serious money, potentially in the tens of thousands. So what should you do? Go check your coin jars. Go through your pocket change. Look at that old roll of quarters you stashed away years ago. You might be sitting on a hidden gem. And if you find a 1989 D Washington quarter that looks especially nice, don't spend it. Get it appraised. You never know, it could change your life. To wrap things up, the 1989 D Washington quarter is more than just spare change. In exceptional condition, it's a valuable piece of numismatic history that's turning heads in the collecting community. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this coin is proof that great value can be found in the most ordinary places. We're diving into the incredible world of Washington quarters, and more specifically, a legendary coin from recent history. That's right, the 1990 D Washington quarter. A coin you could have received in your pocket change is now turning heads in the collector world, with one rare example selling for an unbelievable $54,888. So if you've ever doubted the value of that jar of coins sitting on your shelf, you might want to think again. Because tucked away in your everyday change could be a small fortune. Let's explore why this particular quarter is worth so much and what makes it so incredibly valuable in today's coin market. Let's rewind a little. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Originally intended as a one-year commemorative issue, the coin became a permanent fixture due to its popularity. Since then, the Washington quarter has been minted every year, evolving in design and production over the decades. Now fast forward to 1990. By this time, the quarter had undergone several subtle design changes, but the reverse still featured the iconic eagle that had been in use since 1932. And while most people don't think twice about a coin from the 90s, serious collectors know that not all quarters are created equal. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1990. To be exact, over 927 million 1990 D quarters were struck that year. So you might be thinking, how can a coin from a mintage that large be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Well, the answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and demand. The 1990 D quarter that sold for nearly $55,000 wasn't just any coin. It was an ultra-rare specimen that achieved an almost impossible grading standard, MS-68 from the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS. MS-68 stands for Mint State 68, meaning the coin is in near-perfect condition, showing only the most minute imperfections under magnification. Out of the hundreds of millions minted, only a tiny handful have survived in this pristine state. This is what sets the valuable coins apart from the rest. It's not just about the date or the mint mark, it's about the quality and rarity in the eyes of grading experts. The specific 1990 D Washington quarter that sold for $54,888 was graded and certified by PCGS, one of the most trusted names in numismatics. It sold through a reputable auction house that specializes in rare coins. Collectors were competing fiercely for this coin because of its unprecedented condition and historical significance. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC play a crucial role in verifying authenticity and quality. If you believe you have a rare quarter, sending it for professional grading can make a huge difference in its market value. Now let's talk about the current market. Coin collecting has seen a massive resurgence in recent years. With digital platforms, live auctions, and collector communities growing online, demand for high-quality, graded coins has skyrocketed. That means prices are higher than ever for top-tier coins like the 1990 D quarter in Mint State 68 condition. If you find a 1990 D quarter in your collection and it looks flawless, you might want to look closer. Under magnification, check for sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks. Even coins graded MS-66 or MS-67 can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on demand. If you've got a 1990 D Washington quarter, flip it under a good light. Look at the edges, the fields around Washington's face, and the eagle on the reverse. Is the strike strong? Are there any scratches, spots, or discoloration? If it looks nearly flawless, it might be worth sending to a grading service for evaluation. Always handle coins by the edge and avoid cleaning them, as cleaning can actually reduce a coin's value significantly. If you're getting into coin collecting or just want to hunt for valuable quarters, here are a few quick tips. Check every quarter from the late 80s to early 90s. Many are still circulating. Look for mint marks, especially D for Denver and S for San Francisco. Learn to recognize high grade coins versus average circulation. Invest in a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Consider joining a coin collectors group or attending local shows. So there you have it, the 1990 D Washington quarter, a coin most people overlook, now worth as much as a brand new car or even a down payment on a house. If you've got a jar of quarters at home, now's the time to start looking. Because buried in your change just might be a small metallic treasure worth a whole lot of big money. We're diving deep into the world of Washington quarters. But not just any quarter. We're talking about the 1998 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. A coin that might just be sitting in your pocket or coin jar, worth a fortune. Yes, you heard that right. Some 1998 D quarters have sold for up to $40,888. That's right. $40,000 for a quarter minted just over 2 decades ago. What's the secret behind this coin? Why is a coin from 1998, something most people would overlook, commanding this kind of attention in the numismatic market today? Let's go back for a moment. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. It became a staple of American coinage and has gone through several changes over the years. Fast forward to 1998. It was the last year before the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program. That program changed everything. But before it did, the 1998 Washington quarter was the final coin in the original design series, minted in Denver. The 1998 D Washington quarter doesn't seem rare at first glance. Over 821 million of them were produced. That sounds like a lot. And it is. So why is one worth over $40,000 today? Here's the catch. It's not just any 1998 D quarter. It's the rare varieties. It's the minting errors. It's the condition. It's the grading. Let me explain. Some 1998 D quarters were struck on the wrong planchets. That means the coin blank used wasn't the standard quarter metal composition. Instead, some were accidentally struck on experimental planchets or even on nickel or cent blanks. When this happens, the coin weighs differently and the metal color might look unusual. Others may have double die errors. That's when the design elements like the date or lettering are doubled due to a minting mishap. These types of errors are incredibly sought after by collectors. Now add to that the grade. Coins are graded from 1 to 70 on the Sheldon scale. A perfect 70 is flawless even under magnification. The higher the grade, the more the coin is worth. A 1998 D quarter in poor condition is worth only face value. But a 1998 D quarter in mint state, graded MS68 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can be worth thousands. One such coin, graded by PCGS at MS68, sold for $40,888. That is not a rumor. That is a real, documented sale. So what should you be looking for? First, check the mint mark. It should have a small d under the word "In God We Trust" on the obverse side. Second, inspect the coin's condition. Is it shiny with no scratches? Does it have a sharp strike with strong details? If so, it might be worth getting graded. Third, weigh it. A standard Washington quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's off by a noticeable amount, you might have a rare wrong planchet error. Fourth, use a magnifying glass to inspect for doubling on the date or lettering. Any signs of doubling could mean a double die variety. And finally, consider having your coin graded by a professional third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certified grading adds major value to any coin. Right now, in the current market, demand for high-grade or error 1998 D quarters is strong. Prices for MS67 examples are often in the hundreds. MS68 coins can command thousands. And exceptional error coins or unique varieties. They're in a league of their own. Some collectors are sitting on gold without realizing it. That's why you need to check your spare change, your old coin jars, and your pocket right now. This could be the easiest $40,000 you ever made. So next time you see a 1998 D quarter, don't just toss it aside. Examine it. Study it. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next lucky collector to cash in on one of America's most surprising coin treasures. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into valuable quarters, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss another coin worth big money. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and remember, every coin has a story, and some of them are worth a fortune.